So I'm always looking for vintage trays to buy and paint, and this one is just my style with lots of ornate detail, and I love it when it has handles. I'm reaching around to feel, I don't think it has feet. Sometimes they have feet, and I saw the 50% off price tag and thought that might be an option, but when I look, it's $65, and even 50% off that is just too much. So what did you find?
I like things with drawers. This has a lot of drawers. And then it's tiny. Who doesn't like tiny drawers? That's cute.
It's one of the things that annoys me when I shop at places like this sometimes. This is an antique mall, not a thrift store, but yet it's filthy. If you really want to get $65 for this, my suggestion is clean it up a bit. Otherwise, it's pretty cute. I definitely said I wasn't coming here to shop, but Sue found this, and oh, I don't think I can reach it. Hang on. And so there's this cute jar full of clothespins, and it's listed at $10. That makes it $5, and I'm definitely thinking for $5, this might have to go home with me. So this is one of those crazy things. I look at a shelf like this, which is $75, and I think if this were mine, I'd be taking this whole thing apart and not trying to sell it as a shelf, because I could make a lot more money off of these spindles. If this were 50% off, it would be going in my car. Oh, that basket, that basket.
It's a gorgeous basket. There was a yellow Pokestop.
What are we doing today?
Playing some Pokemon.
How come?
Because it's Fennekin Community Day today.
And you're very excited, are you not?
I haven't had a community day in a long, long time, so it's nice to get out in the hot, fresh air.
Very hot. I might not.
Florida.
Maybe I shouldn't have worn a black shirt.
That was probably a mistake.
It probably was.
Me, I wore all of my light colors and my light wear so that when I sweat, it won't be as noticeable. And I knew it was going to be hot. It's Florida.
I wasn't thinking about that.
But, you know, Pokemon, people, play it. Be my friend on Pokemon.
If they want to be your friend on Pokemon, how do they look you up?
Be my friend.
Okay, be Sue's friend if you play Pokemon.
Yeah. Hey, Melissa, what you doing?
I am Pokemoning
Why are you Pokemoning?
because we're having a Sue reward day, and she wanted to take advantage of Pokemon on the community day.
So you're out and about on a sunny day, getting some fresh air and some exercise.
And sweating quite a lot.
Well, hey, there's going to be tacos involved.
Okay, well, that is part of the Sue day because I am not a huge taco person, but you are.
Oh, everyone should be a huge taco person.
Yeah, we had quesadillas for dinner last night, so that's kind of
Not the same thing.
not the same thing for you.
A few times a year, Sue and I actually make it a point to just spend the day together Pokemoning to keep her happy. It is one of her favorite things to do, believe it or not.
You're smiling.
I am smiling.
Why are you smiling so big?
Tacos. Hot little tacos. Oh my goodness.
All right.
They look good.
That's what I got. I'm not very adventurous.
But it's good. Oh my god, it smells like heaven. This is good.
I feel like I always just want to let the background music play out here because it's part of the ambiance of being in the stores. Unfortunately, YouTube gets very cranky when you can hear popular music playing. And I'm going to give you a fair warning, there is a little bit of risqueness in this particular antique and junk store. I was surprised, but you know, To each their own. This is Riverside in Jacksonville, and it's very eclectic and very young. You're probably wondering what I did with all of those clothespins. So basically I have them like this, and then I have fabric that I've cut into about 1-inch strips. This project is literally as simple as sliding the fabric in and then wrapping it around a few times, cutting it off and securing it. You could leave it this way and put a pin and a little label on it, or just safety pin this in place, but I chose to put little groupings together for mine. I think these came out very charming as bowl fillers or jar fillers, simply as little things you can stack on top of books. I believe they will be perfect for market. And here's a quick reminder that you can follow us on all social media at Vintage Bee Design, and we have a community in Facebook called Creating the Hive or Creative Con Vintage Bee, and I've just started a new coaching group. Membership is only $20 a month. Links are in the description below. Let's get back to crafting. And I thought I would share a couple of other projects that I have been working on. I know that money is tight these days for a lot of people, and so their budget at market is likely to be less. So I wanted to have some inexpensive things that were cute, that sort of stay with our general feel and vibe, and weren't necessarily holiday-ish. So I made these adorable little roosters, chickens, I guess. These little chickens. I will link to the pattern that I purchased off of Etsy. I followed the pattern instructions for sewing them up, and then I used a little bit of watered down burlap. The key to painting fabric easily is to use a firm, hard bristled brush. In this case, I am using a mop brush. Strong bristles and a little bit of watered down paint is really the best way to do this. I painted the combs in Dixie Belle Rustic Red and the beaks in Dixie Belle's Colonel Mustard. Now I want to give them a little bit of aging, and so I'm going to use some of my Redesign with Prima paint in the color Adobe House. And this is sort of an old world color, if you will. And then I have an alcohol ink applicator that comes with like a little felt square that I just simply dab into the stamping ink and then brush it onto my roosters. And this will give them the perfect little worn, decrepit, rustic look. Here up close, you can definitely see the difference in the one that I have added, the Adobe House, and the one that doesn't have any. They are just a fun, distressed look for these little chickens. I know when I first showed my husband the empty non-painted chicken, he couldn't believe that they would eventually be chickens. These alcohol ink applicators are also perfect when you want to make your own little signs for projects like this. In this case, I made little signs stamped that say fresh eggs. Just simply wrapped a piece of fabric, and I have this, it's called Loopy's doll hair. This was the perfect time to use it because you can see it's got a lot of great texture. Anyway, I am considering either putting a little button on here or some little handwritten signs. I haven't quite decided. Let me know what you think. Which do you think it should have? A button or a sign? Or should I do some with a sign and some with a button? They're meant to be bowl fillers for the holiday season or for whenever. So I've made about, I think about 24 of them. So this is another bowl filler that I literally have just finished a couple of days ago. And this is my own pattern. I am gonna try and get it online so you can actually download it and paint these yourself if you want to. This is all painted in Dixie Belle. I started off by just painting sort of a half circle here on both sides with the color Muscadine Wine. And then I added Plum Crazy, and that was a little bit too dark.
So then on the next coat, I actually changed and painted over with Plum Crazy, and then I added Peony on top. And I really like this combination because I think it gives it a lot of depth. I think you can still see the muscadine wine under there, but with the Peony and the Plum Crazy, I think it's got a really good amount of depth. And then on the outside of the watermelon, the rind, if you will, I painted the entire thing in evergreen, and I liked that color a lot. And then I did the rind here, or this outer rim, in farmhouse, what's it called? Farmhouse green, and also by Dixie Belle. And then I sort of, just using a smaller brush, the mop brush again, just sort of, you know, took the brush, and let me get it out of my little jar here because I've got it sitting in water, and just sort of went like this with the paint a little bit, going up and down, and then let that dry. And then I went over that again with the palmetto. And at first I wasn't really sure about the palmetto, but I really like the color with the reds, or the pinks rather. And in the end, I am really happy with how that turned out. Remember, the paint should be watered down, and the idea is that you want a really firm bristle brush. The softer your brush, the harder it's going to be to paint on fabric. And then, you know, I just did little black teardrops, and then with a liner brush added in a little white streak to give it a little bit more dimension. But I'm very pleased with how these came out. And like I said, I did about 24 of these as well. I have some other fun projects. I'll give you sort of a sneak peek at, you know, the mess I've got going on over here. But those will be in next week's video, showing you how I did these cute little mushrooms. But that'll be next week's video. And this week we got caught up with just a lot of other stuff, and I didn't have as much time to get the actual DIY video done. But hopefully you enjoyed what I was able to put out. If you liked today's content, please be sure to hit like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Thanks for joining me.